In this video, we're going to talk about graphing inequalities. And I just want to tell you that it's not so different from graphing a line or just graphing any lines with an equal sign in between. But there are some differences between them, so I am going to help you understand what the difference is. The difference is basically the values of y that we're going to get for our answer. Because as you can see, our y values always has to be less than or equal to our x values, or our x that we plug in our equation. Now, when we're trying to graph it, after we graph it, basically the same as a line that we did in my previous videos, the only difference will be the line itself and what side of the line we should shade in. Because if these values of, if this inequality is telling me that the y values should be less than or equal to this whole equation, we should know that something is going to be different. The values of y they are going to be different. So once we graph it, we're gonna look at the inequality sign and we're gonna see which side we want to basically shade. Now, the easiest way that I can explain it to you is to just look at the inequality. And as you can see here in my inequality, I have y is less than or equal to this whole equation. Now, when it says less than, we should know that if we're working with a line or with anything else, when it's less than, we're gonna shade in the less than part. When it's more than, meaning if it was y more than or equal to, we should shade this part. As you can see, the part that we shade is different from the side, basically the side of the inequality. And if you remember from my previous videos, whenever we're trying to figure out the graph of a line, we always start with the y-intercept because that's the easiest value that we can get from our equation. Now let's imagine we put a 0 in here. Negative 1 over 2 times 0 gives us 0, and y will be less than or equal to minus 1. But again, since I believe I'm thinking about it like it's a line, y is equal to negative 1. Okay, the first point that I have is my y-intercept, and it is 0 and negative 1. Now all I need to do is to draw out my coordinate system. Okay, now we first start with our y-intercept, which is 0 and negative 1, which is located right here. Now, this tells me, again, it's my slope. My slope is equal to negative 1 over 2, which means from this point, I should do something negative, meaning that if I go up, I should turn left. If I go down, I should turn right to do something negative, okay? Now I'm going up once, and then I'm gonna go to the left 1, 2, twice. Now I go up once, and then I go 1, 2. I go up once, I go 1, 2. Now we do the same thing, but this time we're gonna come down and turn right. We go 1 down and then turn right. We go 1 down and turn right twice. We go 1 down and turn right. Now we need to connect it. Now this is the part where I want to talk about it. If this was not an equal sign, we were to draw our line like this, a dashed line, because the line itself is not included. Now, because this is an equal sign, the line is included, which means it should be a solid line. Now we're going to connect all these with a solid line because we know that this is equal to, which means this line is also included. Now this goes to infinity, so you guys know that from my previous videos. Now we have to figure out what side we should shade in. The easiest way to figure that out is to look at the inequality. The inequality is telling me that y is less than or equal to this whole equation. When it's less than or equal to, we should always shade in the left side or the bottom of the line, which is this side of our line. Again, if it was bigger than or equal to, we would have shaded in that side, because bigger means that the y values are more than the whole equation, so the y values would have been that way. But since this is saying that y is less than or equal to this whole thing, we have to shade in the left side of our line. Now again, in this example, we have y is bigger than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. Now again, the easiest way to graph any line or any equality or inequality is to figure out our y-intercept. And as you can see, the y-intercept is negative 2, which means our y-intercept is equal to 0 and negative 2, which means the first point that I'm going to work with is 0 and negative 2, which is located right here. Now from this y-intercept, we're going to use our slope to go up or down. Since our slope is negative 3, we should imagine that this is negative 3 over 1, which means that from here I should do something negative, which means if I go up 3, I should turn left 1, or if I go down 3, I should turn right in order to do something negative. So I'm gonna go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna go and turn left once. We're gonna go up 3, and then we're gonna turn 1 right. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna turn right once. We do the same thing, but this time we're gonna go down and turn right. We're gonna go down 3, and we're gonna turn right once. We're gonna go down 3, we're gonna turn right once. Now all we need to do is to connect all these three. And since we did equal sign, I'm just gonna change this sign to only y is bigger than that whole equation. That way we know what kind of line we should use. And as you can see, because the y values do not include the line, we should show that somehow, because there's no equal sign. And when there's no equal sign, we're going to use dashed lines to show that the line itself is not included. So we're going to use dashed line and connect every single point. And we know that it goes to infinity. Now, another thing that we should do is to shade our sides. And as you can see, this time y is bigger than the whole equation, which means we're gonna shade in the right side of our line, which is gonna be this side. Okay, sometimes you might be asked to basically graph a system of equations, and as you can see, system of equations just means that we only have two equations or maybe three or multiple equations. We have to basically graph all those equations, and after we graph, we basically need to shade the part that they want us to shade. Okay, y is less than negative 3 is something that we didn't do in this class, but I want to tell you what this is. It's basically a horizontal line, which means when I'm drawing it out, it's just going to be all my y values should be negative 3. And if you think about it, it should be a line that is in our negative 3 and our y-axis, which means it should look like something like this. And why is it not a solid line? Because y is less than. We don't have any equal sign. If it was an equal sign, we would have just drew out a line, a solid line. But since we don't have that, it's just a dashed line. And again, we have y is less than negative 3, which means that we're gonna shade in the side that's going to be less than this whole -3. And you can see that it's really easy to do it this way because -3, anything that's less than -3 is gonna be in our equation, which means it should be right here. Now, another thing that you might be asked is to again draw out both of them at the same time. Now I'm gonna draw out this one. We have x plus 1. We have y is bigger than or equal to x plus 1. First, I'm gonna draw out or figure out our y-intercept, which you can see is 0 and +1, which means we're gonna start here. And we have x plus 1, which means that our slope is just 1/1, which means if I go up 1, I should turn right. If I go down 1, I should turn left, because we're trying to do something positive. We're going up, we're gonna turn right, we're gonna go up, right, and I'm not gonna be precise with these because I just wanna help you guys do it. Now, because there's an equal sign, we have to connect all of them with a solid line. And if we connect all of them with a solid line, we know that this one is going to go to infinity, and that one is going to go to positive infinity, this one negative infinity. Now, let's look at our equation. What does it tell us? It tells us that y values are bigger than or equal to x plus 1, which means the side that I'm going to shade in, it's going to be the side where my y values are bigger than the whole thing, than the whole equation. And if you look at it, all the values that we have in these parts, they are the ones that are going to be bigger than this whole equation, which means we're going to shade in this part of our line. Now, the answer for this question is not this whole line, but it's actually the part where they intersect, which is right here. And where they intersect is basically the place that they want you to graph, which is this side. And if you do this in a class, you might be able to do this with different colors. And when you're doing it with different colors, you will see that this side where the shades are mixed, that's the side where we have a solution for our inequalities.